Hello, welcome to Webeo Futures, bite-sized educational resources at the forefront of digital marketing. In this video, I will cover the key metrics for measuring customer experience. One of the most common questions when people discuss measuring customer experience is, what are the standard metrics for measuring CX? Unfortunately, there isn't a universal standard. Most companies use a mixture of the following. They benchmark against competitors and leaders, they use net promoter scores, customer satisfaction, customer effort scores, customer churn rates, and first response and average handling times. We will now discuss what these metrics show and how they can be effectively used. One of the easiest ways to move into CX measurement is to look at your competition and the companies you aspire to. By benchmarking against the metrics you can find on your competition, it will allow you to place yourself in your market and set goals of how and where you want to improve. One metric we track internally here is the market leader's impression across the internet and social media. This allows us to set goals for where we want to be in the marketplace and is a key KPI for company growth. You can track competitor and market leaders by using tools like Media Toolkit to track impressions, sentiments, mentions, and mentions by channel. NPS is the percentage of your customers who would or wouldn't recommend your company to their friends, family, or colleagues. To measure your net promoter score, you will need to run some internal and external surveys to understand the sentiment towards different parts of your company and the whole feeling overall. Customers will need to rate your company on a scale of 1 to 10 and then subtract your detractors from your promoters. By running these surveys both on your customers and internally, you'll begin to understand the sentiment and feeling towards the business both externally and internally. CSAT is the average satisfaction score that customers rate a specific experience they have had with your organization. For example, if you were to book a business conference and you were sent an automated questionnaire about the booking process, CSAT surveys are normally measured on a scale of 1 to 10 and from not satisfied to very satisfied. Companies implement programs to measure this across the business so that they can begin to understand the details about their processes. You can also use KPIs and external agencies to add additional measurement. For instance, you might track the timeliness of deliveries to see how your warehousing and delivery teams are doing. Or externally, you might bring in a mystery shopping agency to get feedback on how you're performing from a customer's perspective. CES helps you determine the effort required by your customers to accomplish a task, like returning a faulty product. It's normally measured by sending an automated post-interaction survey to your customers, asking them to rate a specific statement based on a scale. But how do you calculate your CES? To calculate CES, you need to subtract the percentage of difficult from the percentage of easy. Here you would ignore the people who sit on the fence or who rate you as neutral. Churn rate is the percentage of customers who either don't make a repeat purchase for transaction-based businesses or cancel their recurring service for subscription-based businesses. To calculate your churn rate, you need to take the number of lost companies in a set period of time and divide it by the number of customers who purchased a product or started your service in that same time period. Your churn rate will show how your customers perceive the value of your product and organization. One key factor of churn rate is the period of time that you measure. An example would be if you know that most customers reorder within 90 days, then this is a good time period to measure your performance against. If you're rolling an annual subscription service, then you should be measuring your churn rate on a rolling scale and measuring it against your performances from previous years. You may find that people who sign up at different times of the year are more or less likely to renew. First response is the average amount of time it takes for a customer to get an initial response of their support issue. This measurement is typically measured by taking the average time from the moment a customer opens a support ticket to the time of the first response. Whereas average time handling is the average time it takes for you to resolve a customer support issue from start to finish. This includes the total time including all communication such as phone calls, web chat, and emails. A variant on these options could be measuring the number of interactions it takes to resolve the customer issue. The perfect number is 0, as this would show that your product is flawless and the customers do not run into any issues. The more likely number to aim for is 1, as this would mean the customer raises the ticket and it is routed to the correct person who can help and resolve the issue. If it's more like 5 or 6, This could mean that the customer is not being put in touch with the correct person, and as such, you're wasting their time and your own company's time. We hope you found this helpful. Please feel free to comment below the video, and if you have any questions, one of the team will get back to you. Follow @Webeo Global on LinkedIn to see the latest Webeo Futures assets in your feed as they go live.